Hey everybody, Joshua Robinson here with another edition of Trick My Dish. Here in December, we're gonna start doing some baked stuff, and I was really intrigued by the recipe that we have this week. It's a 67-year-old cheesecake recipe, and I was introduced to this recipe by my friend Jill Planter. How did you get this recipe in the first place?
These set of encyclopedias were given to me by my dad's wife.
Now I know that you've told me before, you're not huge into sweets, are you?
No, I'm not. I like savory foods, but baking and sweet things are not my forte. If I'm sending something to school, I put an apology note with it and some candy on the side to say I'm sorry. Here.
So what's a dessert that you do like?
I do love bananas foster.
What I like is the challenge here of taking this old recipe, adding something new, and making it into something that you can enjoy with your family. So here we go, we're gonna give it a shot. First and foremost, you wanna get the cream cheese whipped and kind of fluffy right off the bat. It was heartbreaking to me when you told me that this stand mixer you have right here, you've never used.
It's been there 6 months.
No one in this house has ever used it before, so hopefully. So we're gonna go low. Let's see. This guy's not moving. Oh, even on Trick My Dish, we have to fix some stuff. Maybe we won't pull this out.
I think I'll get that hand mixer
there
from
we go, maybe.
great grandma, right?
Yeah.
I told you I'm cursed with the baking.
Well, you can't curse us yet. Now, how old is this? You told me that this is
that was my husband's grandmother's.
Wow. Oh, much better. Okay, so now we'll use the spatula to wind it back down. It is working on this cheese. Oh, did we burn it out? So first we can't use the stand mixer, and now we blow out the engine on this hand mixer. So this is a good start. See if I can get any.
I warned you.
Let me see if I have a rabbit's foot in my car before we continue. When all else fails, just go by hand until we get it kind of fluffy.
Mix sugar, flour, and salt, gradually blend into cream cheese.
So the goal is to get it down to that kind of creamy, smooth consistency. What's the next step?
Add eggs and egg yolks one at a time.
We're just gonna do this by hand at first, and then we'll try again over there because we wanna whip it down to it's really smooth. Are they in on the wrong side? Is this supposed to be that one? Is that what I've been doing wrong? There we go.
And marks left and right.
Look at that.
I thought you were a chef.
I put them on the wrong side. So we're just gonna ignore that. We're gonna keep going here. Make sure that you scrape down the sides because you could still see a little bit of yolk hanging out on the side there, and you want it all to be as mixed in as possible. We're gonna put the bananas in right now. So we're using 4 bananas with this recipe. I'd like them to be really, really ripe. So we're gonna mash these bananas up. Look how well that dissolved, and it's just bananas that we're grinding up here. Gonna mix this up. So we're gonna just give a quick hand mix for this guy. So the perfect balance on this cream cheese filling is going to be making sure you have a nice strong banana flavor, but you don't lose the cheese. So you can add in more bananas if you want. If you want to add some banana extract, you can. Just make sure you don't lose the kind of sour,
For the cream cheese.
Yeah. So now that we've set the cream cheese mixture aside, we're gonna focus on getting the actual crust. So for this one, your recipe has like a cookie, a really nice like cookie thing. I like the idea of just doing a straight graham cracker crust. So I got graham crackers, and we got butter. We're gonna melt the butter together. While you're doing that, I'm going to crack these graham crackers down. You put it in the plastic bag, use your rolling pin if you want, or if you're frustrated at the way that you've been dealing with all the equipment, you can just take it out like, just, punch it. Why can't I figure out KitchenAid mixer? This literally took me 30 seconds, and it's already pretty much there. So let's go ahead and add that in here. You see it's starting to naturally clump up like that. That's pretty much your sign that it's basically where you need it to be. This is gonna be kind of tough with a rolling pin. So what I kind of like to do is just get in and use your hands. And you can go ahead and scoop that guy in. Nice and smooth, look at that. Boy, that is gonna be wonderful. So what we have here is a water bath that we're gonna actually put the cheesecake in. Your recipe in this very old book said cook it at 475 for like 15 minutes and then reduce it down to 200 for about an hour. We both expressed a lot of concerns that's gonna burn it. So what you do instead is we're gonna lower it down to 375, maybe even 350 if we feel comfortable with that, and we'll do a water bath instead. So now we're gonna do the most important part, it's the sauce. So for this we need butter, we need brown sugar, and we need cinnamon, A lot of people use rum. You can also use brandy and orange juice. We're gonna need to also cut these bananas up. When I'm slicing the bananas for banana foster, yeah, go diagonal, because you get the best flavor, you get all that surface area on it. There we go. So we've got the butter melted, brown sugar and the cinnamon. You wanna go ahead and get it down to like a syrupy consistency first. And then you add a splash of orange juice and your rum. So let's go ahead and mix in the bananas. If only you could capture the smell of this. You could either make this right before you're gonna prepare it. So if you've had time to cool the cheesecake, you've had time to let it sit, and you have everybody pretty much ready to go, you can take this hot topping and pour it right on top. Or what we're gonna do today, we're gonna cool it. We just pulled the cheesecake out of the oven. We're seeing a little bit of brown just on the end, just a little bit. And a lot of that we were kind of talking about how it's this water bath that adds that convection oven consistency. You actually told me that you crack your cheesecake all the time.
It always cracks. There's not one crack in it.
Nothing here. So we're gonna let this cool for a little while. Now we have the moment of truth. We're all very nervous. Gonna pop the side off. We got it to come out pretty well. It
released right away.
It released right away. We're gonna take those chunks of the cooked bananas Foster bananas right in the middle here. I'm gonna take some of this glaze and just kind of coat it along the sides. You get that kind of rustic. I like that kind of rustic. So to wrap up this Trick My Dish, unfortunately, as we were transferring the cheesecake over for a presentation, we lost the cheesecake. Fell, collapsed, it's a mess. But we did get a chance to try it a little bit. So even though we're in the face of some unfortunate circumstances, a little bit of disappointment at the end, you did get a chance to try it. Tell me, what were some of your thoughts?
Flavor was excellent. I wouldn't change that at all.
Okay.
And I'd actually experiment with the recipe in the future.
As soon as you tasted it, the words to me were, on a special occasion, I would make this.
I will definitely bring this out and definitely present it to the family at some point. Yes.
Well, on a day where we've had to look for successes a little bit more often than we would have liked, I consider that to be a huge success. Thank you for inviting us into your kitchen. We can now say this cheesecake recipe has been tricked.